Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Brain Waves, back at it again. This time we're going to talk about President Trump. Guess what he did? Will you believe that he actually cursed out Joe Biden? That's right. He cursed him out. Now, we could probably believe that that type of dialogue is taking place behind closed doors and behind the scenes. But this actually took place on camera. That's right. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to talk about it. Now, it shouldn't be to any surprise that there has been a great divide and public display of not getting along, so to speak, or agreeing, especially when it comes to certain issues. But what we're seeing right here, man, oh man, oh man, I tell you, it's I don't know what to say, because this comes up off of the heels of President Trump already cursing before, when he was being interviewed about what was going on with the whole Iran and Israel situation with the war. I don't know if y'all remember, he was waiting to jump on his chopper to go to a NATO meeting, and he ended up dropping an F-bomb. Perhaps we need to pull that up and take a look at that. And then we go into this, because this might lay the groundwork on what's going on. And this is kind of a back-to-back thing. So this also primes the question, will we see more? Will we see more? So let's go ahead to that.
But reports coming from the region suggest that they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? Land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
So this lays the groundwork to the first public display of F-bombs. And will this become a norm? Is this something we're going to regularly see? Now, what we're going to do is switch gears and take a look at what just took place. All right. Now, this was a discussion that was going on about something else. Okay. This actually was going on about Alligator Alcatraz. So there's going to be bits and pieces that we're going to go over as it relates to that. But just take a listen to this.
Mr. President, Mr. Governor, what's your message to Governor Gavin Newsom inside of this facility?
Well, the first thing you should do is come here and learn something, because they don't do this. They don't know. They wouldn't know where to begin, and if they did, it would cost them 100 times more. So I would say he should call the governor and Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this.
Well, they have the original Alcatraz, so you guys could approve him being able to set one of these up over there. I'm sure the secretary would be happy to do that and provide. My sense is he's probably not going to bite on that, but I don't know that they'd be able to come in at cost, because they tried to do this high-speed rail. They spent like $150 billion, no tracks. We've got a privately funded rail in Florida from Miami to Orlando. It cost the taxpayers zero, and it's very successful. So it's just a much different approach between states.
We're not going to let him get anywhere near Alcatraz. It'll cost 100 times more than they thought. Now, he ought to come here and study this, because he can learn a lot.
Yes? The first person checking into the room, sir.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow, within the next 24 hours.
They have the doctors, they have all the professionals.
There's going to be a security suite, because There have been civilians here, so they will sweep this multiple times to make sure there's nothing can be used as weapons or any contraband. And then once that's cleared, then they'll do. So it's really up to Secretary. I know has got people in the queue, and so they'll be ready to receive.
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility. So if any of the news claims are keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here.
To be honest.
Or 70.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a bitch.
Did y'all hear that? Let's stop the music to make sure you can hear it, because sometimes you can't actually pay attention. He said it under his breath, but you can hear it. Let's run it back, and it's regarding Biden.
He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a bitch. He wanted me. It didn't work out that way. Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a bitch.
What's your expectation?
Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a bitch.
What's your expectation?
There you have it. Trump actually called Biden a son of a you-know-what. That's right. So that makes 2 times. That's 2 times. You know, he's been feeling froggy on the mic. I don't know. It's probably going to be a 3rd or 4th time for all we know. But that's 2 times. Now, we're going to continue to listen to this. I'm going to let the tape play, and then we're going to run it back, because we also need to talk about something he said about Biden more specifically and what relates to this alligator Alcatraz. But let's go ahead and let it run.
What this will do for the speed and force of deportations.
A lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, you know, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in a maximum security. Look, what we inherited from this guy, this incompetent man, and his administration, which wasn't incompetent, it was radical left, lunatic, communist, whatever you want to say. I know most of them. What we inherited should never, ever be forgotten. What they've made us do. This is all because of an open border policy where 25 million people flowed in. From all over the world, from prisons, from all over the world they flowed in. For no reason whatsoever. We had, you know, when I left, we had a very powerful border. We had no problem. He opened it up. Day one, he just opened the border, and people couldn't believe it. That's right. They were standing there. What are they doing? They said, go in. That's it. You look at the first day tapes. They opened it up and they said, go in, and that's where all of this began. But this is an amazing thing that they've done here.
All right, so what I want to run it back, we're going to break this down, because if you weren't paying attention, he actually took shots at Biden. It wasn't just one. He took multiple shots. All right, so let's go ahead and start it back from the top.
Mr. President, Mr. Governor, what's your message to Governor Gavin Newsom inside of this facility?
Well, the first thing
Now he's talking about Gavin Newsom. Y'all already know the whole California situation.
you should do is come here and learn something, because they don't do this. They don't know. They wouldn't know where to begin, and if they did, it would cost them 100 times more. So I would say he should call the governor and Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this.
Well, they have the original Alcatraz, so you guys could approve him being able to set one of these up over there. I'm sure the secretary would be happy to do that.
So you already hear right off the bat, Governor DeSantis and President Trump and all them, they're already quote unquote talking about setting up the official Alcatraz over there, you know, on the West Coast as an alligator Alcatraz extension. Not just using it for hardcore criminals, but using it in this type of layout that we see that alligator Alcatraz is being set up in Florida. Okay, that's one talking point, but let's go.
My sense is he's probably not going to bite on that, but I don't know that they'd be able to come in at cost, because they tried to do this high-speed rail. They spent like $150 billion, no tracks. We've got a privately funded rail in Florida from Miami to Orlando. It cost the taxpayers $0, and it's very successful. So it's just a much different approach between states.
Now, I wonder what that much different approach between states. I mean, that's a whole nother issue. And this is actually a bigger issue, because what we constantly see, just like in this video, is we're constantly seeing one side against the other. right? We're literally watching the divided states of America. Nobody can get along. If you're a Democrat, you're over here. If you're a Republican, you're over there. Da 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 da. I don't want to hear what you got to say. I ain't trying to work with you. We saw this with this big, beautiful bill. We saw this with a lot of other bills and things that's going on with our government. And quite frankly, we're just seeing like nobody really wants to work with anybody that's on a different side. It's crazy. But anyway, let's continue.
We're not going to let him get anywhere near Alcatraz. It'll cost 100 times more than they thought. Now, he ought to come here and study this because he could learn a lot. Yes?
First person checking into the room, sir.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow, within the next 24
They have the
hours.
doctors, they have all the professionals.
There's going to be a
people.
security sweep because there have been civilians here, so they will sweep this multiple times to make sure there's nothing can be used as weapons or any contraband. And then once.
Now, notice that they're doing a security sweep with Alligator Alcatraz to make sure that all the civilians are gone and nothing was left. Because, you know, the last thing they need is for something to come on the news. Just in, breaking news. The so-called detainees at Alligator Alcatraz found weapons that were brought in by civilians. Apparently, they used those weapons to attack the guards and what have you, and they are running for their lives. Come on now.
That's cleared, and they'll do so. It's really up to Secretary. I know has got people in the queue, and so they'll be ready to receive.
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims are keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here.
To be honest.
So that's another point. They said it's air conditioned. And what I also heard them say is they were going to bring the so-called immigrants in, and they're literally shipping them back out on plane almost as fast as they coming in. The only ones that they might actually keep are like hardcore criminals. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to be spun. I don't think it's been spun that way. But if they try to spin it that way, you heard them say that it's air conditioned. But anyway, let's go.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but...
Now, that's another point. You see Trump's taking shots. He said Biden wanted him in there. It didn't work out that way. Just like I'm pretty sure there's some of you in the chat right now that want Biden to, that too. Some of y'all, listen, there's some people in the chat right now that want Biden to be in jail for all the things that's going on. And you got people that want Trump to be in jail for all the things going on. You got some people right now in the chat that are siding with what Biden said about Trump should be in Alligator Alcatraz. As a matter of fact, let me see something real quick. Let's see if we can, let me check for something. Let me check for one thing here. Let me see if I can find something. I'm probably just gonna keep, you know what? Because this might take too long. So I think I'm gonna end up just saving this for another time. This is gonna take too long. So anyway, I'm just gonna have to move on. Let's go.
He wanted me in here, that son of a bitch.
You heard him? He said he wanted me in there, that son of a... I'm sure a lot of y'all want him in there. I'm pretty sure there's people in the chat right now that believe that Trump should be in there for what he's doing to the migrants. Pretty sure. And you know what's funny? No one has a problem with speaking this way. Right? No one has a problem speaking this way. Everybody just has a problem about what he's doing. I mean, I guess at this point, it must be okay for us to speak that way, right? Must be okay. I mean, I'm just giving y'all the news. I'm just showing y'all what took place. I'm just showing y'all what happened. And I'm giving us perspectives to think about it. I guess it's okay to say what people need to be and that Trump need to be locked up. And I guess it's okay for Trump to be like Biden, that son of a, and all this stuff. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. What's this? Shout out to everybody that's new in the chat. Thank you for coming through. Make sure you double tap the screen. Rolando Naive says in Arizona it was a hell tent. I'm not sure what you're referring to as a hell tent. Let me know what you're referring to as a hell tent. But from my understanding, there's only one alligator Alcatraz. There is no camp that's set up, no official camp. Like the actual location is an official spot, not a little temporary setup. This is the only one besides talking about anything related to the border. Now that could be something that you're referring to. I'm not completely sure. Just let me know. But it's all good. Look at what Mr. McLiptard says. I have 2 felonies. So what? Listen, y'all. You know what's funny? A lot of people have felonies. Let me just talk about something. This is not about how you feel about Trump in particular. I just want to bring up a point. There's a lot of people that have felonies. Mr. McLiptard says, I have 2 felonies. That's what Mr. McLiptard said. So does it automatically mean that because a person has a felony that they should just be locked up or they should be put away? Because there's a lot of people here in America that have even wrongly been charged with things and have felonies. And they're actually good people. Now, I'm not trying to apply what I'm saying to Trump, because I know that's how a lot of y'all are going to take it. So are you trying to say that Trump's a good person because he's got 34 felonies? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put a point home, and I'm trying to get people to think. Do you believe that just because somebody has a felony or 2 or 3 or whatever it is, that they're automatically a bad person? That means that they're just done and there's no hope and there's no redemption? Because if that's so, that goes against what the Bible actually says. Because basically everyone has access to being redeemed, no matter what you've done. And that goes into a whole nother type of conversation, a whole nother mindset. It does. It does. It's a deep conversation again. It might be something that people might not want to think about. It might be something that people might not want to have this conversation. But what I'm trying to show y'all is that everything is falling apart on all sides and all fronts. And that's the conversation I'm trying to see. We're seeing, just like when I presented that argument with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's like, hey, this should be done to Trump. This should be done. He's taking shots. And it's funny because you have a group of people that's okay with Joe Biden taking shots at Trump. And then you're going to have some people, because Trump took shots back at Biden, people are going to question it and have a problem with it. Right? But the thing is, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So if it's wrong for Trump to take shots at Biden, then it's wrong for Biden to take shots at Trump. And we just need to address it across the board. We can't be making exceptions. We can't be making loopholes, bending the rules. I mean, if we're going to really address this thing, right? That's all I'm saying. If we're really going to deal with the issue of what's right and what's wrong, then we got to do it across the board. We can't make exceptions and show favoritism just because maybe we're more for Trump or we're more for Biden or we're more for whatever. We got to do this across the board. But you know, that's another conversation for another day. Come on, let's go.
What this will do for the speed and force of deportations.
A lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, you know, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in a maximum security. Look,
so you heard what he said. He said he sends them home. So what we need to be on the radar with, and what we need to be paying attention to, is seeing if the actual migrants have actually been sent home. If we're hearing stories in the news saying, hey, all the migrants so far, however many thousands of migrants that came through Alligator Alcatraz have been sent home. That's what we need to be hearing in the news and in the story, right? Because that's what's being told to us. except for, again, the hard criminals. Remember, he said the hard criminals, they ain't going nowhere. Listen.
And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home.
See, they want to go home, and he immediately sends them home. This isn't, listen, this is what I want y'all to understand. We're having people go out and assume and say that, oh, Trump got them in Alligator Alcatraz and they just locked up and they stuck there and they're spending days and weeks and all that stuff and they're not going anywhere. This is the narrative that people are trying to push, but that's not what's been told from the beginning, before they had anyone come there, before it was open, to while it's open, to what's going on. That's what's been told. They've been shipping them off. As soon as they come in, they're right back. Right? So this is something that we got to take into consideration, because here's what I want to say. People might beg to differ, but I want to challenge you on that. Here's what I want to say. Has anybody here in the chat actually been to Alligator Alcatraz? Like, where my Floridians at? Where are the people that live in Florida? Right? See, this is what I want to bring and make people think. I know some people are saying you can't believe everything in the news. Okay, so if we can't believe everything in the news, that works both ways, right? That works both ways. So that means that if we can't believe everything in the news, that means we can't believe what Trump is saying. And that means we can't believe what somebody's saying that Trump is not doing. So then what do we go off of? What do we actually believe? Do we start running with our own whims and narratives, our own opinions? That there's nothing to substantiate that either, right? We can't just go off of, well, I think this is what's going on. We don't know that for sure. Unless we've been down there, unless we're seeing video, or unless we know or we got something somewhat credible to go off of, we can't assume that that's the case. And so that's what I'm trying to bring up, that people can't assume the worst is going on. How do you know that it's going bad? Where's my Floridians at? Have anybody been down there? Right? Has anybody been down there to say that they're not coming in and moving right back out on the plane? And in the same breath, has anybody been down there to actually say, hey, I know they're not moving the migrants out. I was down there at Alligator Alcatraz and I seen it. Man, they just keeping them migrants locked up. I came through, I saw one migrant the other day, and then there was a bunch of them another day. The same migrants was there for like a week or a month or a year, whatever it is, right? So it's tricky for people to actually say, you can't believe everything that Trump's saying. You can't believe everything the news saying. And yes, that is true. You can't believe everything. But like I said, what are we going to go off of without some other credible source of information at this point? Right? That's the only thing we can understand. I saw a comment where shout out to Grant and shout out to everybody that's new here. I appreciate all of y'all coming through. Grant said it flooded yesterday. It flooded, but it didn't flood to the point where they had to evacuate. They said that Alligator Alcatraz can withstand a Category 2 hurricane. And they brought in, let me show y'all, they brought in a ton of people to actually put the like sandbags and set up everything to withstand the floods. So it really wasn't a situation. Let me see if I can show y'all this real quick. And the floods are not like if I can find it. We're gonna take a look at it, but the floods aren't what a lot of y'all actually think. So let's look at this, man. Let's take a look. This is the flooding that supposedly took place, okay? And I'm gonna kind of mute it because the sound is loud. So what we're watching right now is the so-called floods. These are the so-called floods. Y'all see that? Look at that on the ground. That's not floods where you're drowning or it's some major situation. I mean, come on. Listen, y'all. I'm going to put this on mute because you'll hear some people talking, but they ain't really doing nothing. See, like, let's see. can't really hear it. The thing is, you have regular buildings that's here that be flooded. Regular buildings, when it's raining and it's storming, water be leaking through and coming through. That's no big deal that it quote unquote flooded. And so what I'm trying to say is they make everything seem like a big deal. So that's what I'm saying. We can't just trust everything that's hitting the news. They try to clickbait in the news. They try to make it seem like it's more than what it is. We're looking at actual photos right here from it. Does that really look like a flood? Or does that look like just a little bit of water came in? That's what a lot of people do. They hype stuff up. They over embellish in things. They make it seem like it's more than it actually is. And so what we do here is we just go straight down the middle. We don't take sides unless I'm literally saying, hey, y'all, I'm giving you my personal opinion on this. But even when I do that, we still go straight down the middle. We're looking at it. It was just a little water that came in. It's not a big deal. I mean, the little bit of water that we seen, you can walk in that water. Kids can walk in that water. Babies can walk in that water. There has not been one picture or one photo here that's showing like the place just completely overran. It's just kind of one of the things I wanted to show y'all, because I know that's what people are going, hey, it flooded. And then next thing you know, you're going to hear news reports coming out saying that Alligator Alcatraz is unsafe to house the migrants. The place is flooded and it's not properly set up and they don't have security staff and they don't have this and they don't have that. See, you got a lot of people that like to just talk bad. Listen, you got people, when you set up properly, you got things going properly, they'll talk bad about you. So you don't really know how to wash your car. I don't care if you got your own sprayer and you got a machine to buff everything out with the wax, and you got your own special soaps and you know the way you're gonna dry it and clean. Like, they'll still criticize you. Well, you're not actually at a car wash. You're not doing it this way. You got some people that are just doom and gloomers, is what I want to say. They take every situation and turn it into a bad thing. They take every situation and make it a million times worse, even if it's not even a bad situation. So this is one of the reasons why I had to show the floods. Let me show something else real quick. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. We'll take a look at this right here, because these are this right here be some of the first visits. So let's just take a look at this while we're talking about it. All right, let's go.
I do want to get you out to this live image that we have now coming in from Alligator Alcatraz. As we brought you, this is breaking news earlier when we learned the first group of immigrants has arrived at a new detention center deep in the Florida Everglades that officials have dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. That is according to a spokesperson for Attorney General James Uthmire. You can actually see as they zoom in, there's a bit of flooding in that area right now. Press Secretary for Uthmire did say, quote, people are there, but did not provide further details on the number of detainees or when they got there. Quote, next stop.
Now I want y'all to look at it from this particular image that they're showing us. Does that really look like flooding? I need somebody to tell me, does that really look like flooding? It looked like it rained, yes, but do they have some other images? Like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Where are the images that it actually flooded? Seriously, like, am I seeing something wrong here? I'm looking for images. They say that it actually flooded. Where's the flood at? I just see a little water here. Let's continue. Maybe it's later on in the video.
Back to where they came from. That's a post from Uthmire, who said that on X just days ago. He's been credited as the architect behind the Everglades proposal and requests for additional information from the office of Governor Ron DeSantis, and the Florida Division of Emergency Management, which is building that site there, has not been returned as of now to the Associated Press. They have been sending in those requests all throughout the day here. The facility at an airport used for training will have an initial capacity of about 3,000 detainees. The center was built in 8 days and features more than 200 security cameras and more than 28,000 feet of barbed wire and 400 security personnel. You can see they are hauling equipment in there as there is reported flooding in that area, and you can see a bit of it in the distance, but they are still working to set up some of those final touches. However, as we know from a spokesperson for the Attorney General, detainees have already arrived there. Immigrants who are arrested by Florida law enforcement officers under the federal government's 287G program will be taken to that facility. That is according to an official in President Trump's administration. The program is led by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and allows police officers to interrogate immigrants in their custody. And
I gotta say this, man. Listen, let me tell you something about these news and media stations. They keep saying that it's flooding in the area, but they have shown no flooding. Like, where's the drone footage? Like, seriously, couldn't they fly a drone if it's so crazy? I mean, it is the news. You mean to tell me the news can't fly a drone, but yet we get all these aerial shots? I just showed you a video of the aerial shots of Alligator Alcatraz. So all of a sudden, we can't get a drone to take a look if there's actual flooding? All they're showing us is a bunch of trucks. And they keep saying, it's flooding, it's flooding, it's flooding. But from all the footage that I've seen, and I'm showing you, there's no flooding. And see, this is why I be telling you, they be lying. They be lying, because what it is that they want to make this Alligator Alcatraz look like a failure. Now listen, y'all, whether you agree with Alligator Alcatraz is besides the point. This is not about I agree with having Alligator Alcatraz or I disagree with having Alligator Alcatraz. Many of you in the chat disagree with it. That's not what this conversation is about. This conversation is about showing you how they're lying to us. What's up, Christina? This is about showing you how they're lying to us. They on this news clip talking about flooding, flooding, flooding. Where the hell is the floods? All I see is work trucks. All I see is them setting up trucks there. They're setting up trucks, but they're not showing us where are the drone footage. Let me play this. Maybe I'm missing something in these last, 20 seconds.
Detain them for potential deportation. The facility is expected to be expanded.
Hold on, let me back this up. Look right here in the distance, okay? I got the cursor circling around where I'm talking about. If you look in the distance, you see a truck way off here. They got the stop signs here. You see a truck way off. That truck ain't flooded. I'm not saying there isn't any water in the grass or water off or maybe a part on the road that's got some water. I mean, hell, when it rains just here in the cities, we have areas of quote unquote flooding, but people be driving through it. I mean, obviously it could get to the point where it's impassable, but what I'm saying is when it rains normally, we haven't flooded. Like, why the hell is this some big news? And if it really was flooded, where's the aerial footage of it being flooded? They show aerial footages of everything. Every time a hurricane come through, a storm, they talking about this overflow. You see nothing but footage. Where's the footage from it? Let me check something. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's brainwaves. Brainwaves don't know what the hell he doing. Maybe he missing something. Let me just check something here. Maybe it's something I'm missing big time. I want to see this like grand flooding. Let's take a, we're going to look at some different footage here to see if it's some grand footage. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Maybe it's
this evening, questions over the operation at the site dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. There are already concerns about flooding following 2 days of consistent rain.
NBC6 politics reporter Hansel Vella has been at the site and joins us from the Everglades with the latest.
Transportation workers digging holes across the main entrance. They say.
Let me correct you, Roger. Roger Borderline says can't fly a drone over it because it's a federal facility. Also, the previous overhead shots are stock footage from Department Homeland Government sources. You're talking about semantics, dude. Listen, Roger, you're late to the show. I already showed you a video of the footage inside of Alligator Alcatraz. We just got finished looking at the inside of that. I'm gonna go back to that in a minute. And they're able to show all this footage because, like, as a matter of fact, let me go back to that. Let me get back to that where I showed y'all the inside of Alligator Alcatraz. Because people's like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just speaking semantics. I'm just doing wordplay. Nah, man, y'all late to the class. A lot of times, a lot of people come in here, and I understand y'all late to the class, and it seems like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, I've already showed the inside of it. Now, we're going to go back to this particular video that I got to show again because people seem to not understand what I'm talking about. So right now, what we're going to look at is the very beginning of what I show. And you're going to see right now, we're looking at inside of Alligator Alcatraz. Why is it that news and media is able to get this footage, but news and media is not able to get any other footage? Now, you see water seeping in, but does that look like a flood? Water is seeping in, but that's not a flood. This is what I'm trying to show y'all. I showed this earlier. I can't keep showing this on repeat in order to show new videos. Maybe actually I can. Actually, I can show this on repeat. Let me do it like this because this seems like this is the way I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna let it play first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do something so people can see. They're having it. Listen. Look. Right now, there have news and media camera in there, but you have somebody say it's a federal facility. News and media can come into a federal facility. There's nothing that's going on with a brand new facility opening up where they can't come in. The reason why they may not have flown drones is because it was quote unquote raining or storming or inclement weather, and it wasn't even necessary to do that. You have news and media in here right now on the screen. That's why I paused it. This is crazy. They're literally doing this while the ground is quote unquote flooding. If it was flooding so bad, there would be no way they could have news and media going on. Everybody would be scrambling. They wouldn't dare want to film all of this because this would be embarrassing. This would make it like a failure. This would make Trump look bad. This would make DeSantis look bad. This would be a whole big disaster. Come on now. You got the news and media right here walking around. Look at the ground. You see a little bit of water right here with the guy right here with the tan khakis on. And you can see towards the back. If you look back over here, there's a little water. That's not no damn flooding. If that's considered flooding, I mean, I get what they're trying to say. If anything is semantics, that is semantics. And that's how they're trying to play us and trick us into thinking, oh, Alligator Alcatraz was flooded and it's just unsafe conditions for the migrants. Wow, they're bringing migrants there and they got migrants swimming around with alligators. If it's flooding, alligators could just come in there and eat the migrants up. Y'all see how this play on your mind? Y'all see how this play on your mind? Now, unless somebody can show me some footage otherwise, I don't see no flooding. I just see a little bit of water. And I know technically somebody could say, well, technically that's a flood. Look at that. That's just a little bit of water. And it's not even covering the entire ground. It's water that's seeping in at certain spots. But that's not flooding the way that the news and media push it. The news and media are pushing it to where if you didn't see this footage, you would be thinking like, oh man, it's just completely overran. They need to shut this down. See that? But the news and media is not allowed in here, huh? How come New York Post got a hold of this footage? And of course, we see with the shots, whatever, it doesn't matter whether this is after the fact or whatever. We got to see inside of it. Anyway, let me get back to the other video that I was trying to show because we're looking at these videos here to see if we're trying to see if this is actually something legit in terms of flooding. All right, let's get to this, man. Let's go.
A sign is going up calling this detention facility Alligator Alcatraz during and since the president's visit. As expected in summer months, those afternoon thunderstorms easily create flooding, and in swampy areas like this one, plenty of mud. Already reports of flooding inside the facility.
Now, when they're talking about flooding, I paused it here because I want y'all to see what the ground looks like. This is what they're considered flooding. I see more rain than this. I live in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I see way more water than this on our roads and streets. We have our roads and streets from a simple rain. It make it look like rivers are on the road. They consider this flooding? Like this is normal for the South. We're talking about Florida for crying out loud. This is normal for the South. I'm not saying this is preferred. I'm not saying this is ideal, but this is normal. Look at it, man. This ain't nothing. And like I said, Alligator Alcatraz can withstand a Category 2 hurricane. Now, as for what they would do if they got a report of a hurricane, Trump said they're flying them in and flying them out. As fast as they come in, they leaving. So it's not like they trying to keep them there. They'll probably get them all out. And maybe take the hardened criminals and put them in jail or some other facility. So I don't see this as like a big deal. People trying to make this sound like this is a concentration camp where once you go in, you never come out. Don't ever go to Alligator Alcatraz. You'll be stuck there for the rest of your life. That's how this is how people are trying to depict this without any actual proof. Now, if that's the case, I want to see pictures. Feel free to send me videos, send me information. I'll be more than happy to backpedal, backtrack, and show the information and shout you all out who provide that information. I don't want to see no clickbait or no fake ass AI. I need real, legitimate proof. And I'll be more than happy to show this to the public. On my channel, I got no problem owning any of that. But as it stands right now, this is what they call flooding. This is crazy, man.
The flooding inside the facility, despite what the head of Florida's emergency management said yesterday.
It is a fully aluminum frame structure rated for winds of 110 miles an hour or a high-end Category 2.
Today, a spokesperson for the Florida's emergency management told us vendors went back and tightened any seams at the base of the structures that allowed water intrusion during the heavy storm, which they say was minimal.
See? Did you see what I'm saying? This was minimal. All they had to do is go back and tighten up some things. Because they had to hurry up and throw this together. They put it together. It's not like they just spent millions and billions or whatever on some type of facility that had time to be built and architects and came out. I'm not saying they don't have architects, because obviously somebody had to come out with the design to put this together. But they just literally put some things together and tightened it. It was fine. And then they realized when they had a storm, they just need to tighten it a little bit more. But you got the news and media trying to clickbait everybody into thinking that it's something crazy and bad. Notice what he said after they tighten it up, no issues.
At the base of the structures that allowed water intrusion during the heavy storm, which they say was minimal. The state says the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport will have the capacity to house 3,000 people. It'll be staffed by about 1,000 folks. And while the state hasn't said who will be staffing it, we did get a hint at Tuesday's roundtable.
200 men and women, soldiers and airmen underneath Major General John Haas's command.
Last week, a spokesperson for the...
So y'all heard that. We have actual soldiers there. We have actual soldiers there.
Florida National Guard told NBC6 they would have soldiers at the facility starting July 1st.
See? Now, I want to talk about something. Let me see if I can get to this comment. Where is it at? Right here. Shout out to Evelyn. Evelyn is right. Evelyn said this is not supposed to be a 5-star resort. It's a place for suffering. You could say it's a place for suffering. You could say it's a place for shipping migrants in and out. It's not a place that anybody's supposed to stay. So in this sense, though, that's correct. This is not, I don't know about suffering, but it's definitely a place for people to come in and come out. They're not supposed to be setting up no residence there. Like when you go to jail, people are serving sentences and they're going to be there for years, depending on what their sentence is, right? So a jail has to have a certain type of standard and code. It's got to be set up because they're staying there. What they're doing here is they're bringing them in there and then they're flying them right out. Instead of having them to be transported to the border or some other way and then processed, and then they're leaving on a vehicle or perhaps plane somewhere else, they're doing it right there. So it's crazy. And I know Zach says you can't put a price on American citizen safety. What I want to know is, how is this facility unsafe? Like, this is what I'm like, these are questions that I'm trying to find out. How is it unsafe? Somebody say, well, some rain got through, so they went back and tightened up the building. That makes it unsafe. Just like we got schools that rain followed through. Y'all got work offices and work buildings where the rain, when it rains, water gets through, the ceilings be leaking, the tiles be leaking, other things be leaking. Does that make that building unsafe? No, it does not. But everybody's trying to look at every little thing and be like, oh, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. I mean, quite frankly, if you think about what these migrants have escaped and quote unquote came from Mexico, and you think about what they were dealing with cartels and all types of other stuff, any conditions here in America is quote unquote, for the most part, safer than where they came from. For the most part, right? For the most part, there's always exceptions to the rule. And again, this is just getting started and it's just going. Again, now we're not arguing whether this is right, whether this is wrong, but some got to be done, right? Something's got to be done. But anyway, let's continue to play this because everybody's talking about the flooding.
Who would be helping with site security and would be here as long as necessary.
Alligator Alcatraz.
Impact from this, of course, on the surrounding wetlands, still a concern for many.
The partnership with the state has been great.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons tells us the goal is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks, where they can appear before a judge and be deported from the camp's existing runway.
Did y'all hear that? So you got people talking about no due process. Let me run this back for people to say, oh, this camp is not about due process.
Is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks. Tells us the goal is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks. Where they can appear before a judge and be
But people are saying that, oh, they're just taking them there and treating them so hard. Do you have any evidence of this? These are the types of things that I be talking about. Where is the evidence? I need video, I need footage, I need audio. What's up, Forever Studios? I need some type of process. First of all, y'all got to stop and think. These people are illegal. They're not legal citizens. See, listen, a lot of people looking at, but this person was legit and they got caught up. Let me make something clear. That's a long-going issue. As me being black, as other people being black, how many of us are natural-born citizens and we quote-unquote got caught up with stuff? Right? Welcome to America. They want to come here to America. Welcome to America. These are the issues that we deal with in-house. What, just because you're a migrant is supposed to be any different? You want to be a part of this country? These are a part of the issues that take place in-house. If you are an actual citizen, that does not automatically mean that you're not going to get stereotyped. I'm not saying it's right, but it happens. It does not mean that you might not get caught up in a situation. And we don't know every detail that's going on. A person might say something, but do we really know what's going on? Because people very rarely actually snitch on themselves. They're not going to be like, well, yeah, I was a citizen, but see, I was actually doing this and da-da-da-da-da, so I got caught up, blah, 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 blah. They're going to play innocent. They're going to act innocent. How many times have you seen a situation where a child, right, does some type of criminal act, and then they interview the mama, not my baby John Doe. My baby John Doe is innocent. But then we done seen her baby John Doe do this and do that. We got video footage and evidence of them doing that. That's what happens, right? Everybody act like they innocent. And I'm not saying there aren't mistakes and they're not innocent people. Innocent situations do happen. However, what they're telling you is that they are actually keeping them no longer than 2 weeks. 2 weeks isn't a reasonable time with the number of migrants that they have coming through that facility. And that's the maximum time, 2 weeks. They're getting them in and getting them right back out. They're not staying there. They ain't living there. They ain't setting up shop there. They just have them there just to bring them in front of a judge. That's a reasonable time. They're actually getting some type of due process where they could talk to a judge and be like, hey, this. And guess what? If they're legit and they talk with a judge, they're going to move forward with that process. Come on. They're going to move forward with that process. But see, that's not how people are trying to talk. People trying to make it seem like it's something worse, and they don't have no proof. Come on now. Come on. Now, listen, there's people that's in our country, I don't know how many times I've been saying this, that are not legal citizens, and they benefit off of you and me. We're paying for them to be in the country. They pay no taxes. They're getting all the benefits. They're getting medical stuff. Do y'all realize that a lot of the medical benefits, at least prior to this big, beautiful bill, was going to illegal migrants? And that when you hear some of the argument that the Democrats are talking about people are going to lose Medicaid, they're going to lose coverage and all this, some of them were actually illegal migrants. And I don't really want to get into detail on that, right? So what's this? Sony says, you really believe that? Do you have proof? Let me ask you if you're referring to this, Sony. Do you have proof that they're not going through due process by sitting in front of a judge? This is what I want y'all to, this is what I'm saying. This is what I've been trying to get y'all to understand this whole time. People are questioning me on what I'm saying. Do you have proof that it's otherwise? You know, let me explain something to you, Sony. First of all, you said that if you're illegal, you can't claim benefits. Sony, do you know how many people hustle the system? Have you ever heard of the term or the phrase hustling the system? Have you ever heard of how people can get around things? Right? Have you ever heard of that? First of all, they're in the country illegally. So they're not following the law. So what would make you think that they will follow the law with anything else? Now, I know they're not eligible for that, but what I'm trying to tell you is that it's a system that people can hustle. And I really don't want to get into the details on how to hustle the system. They do get benefits. This is what I'm saying, man. Like, listen, man, I don't think you understand what's going on, Sony. This is what I've been trying to say. Illegal migrants, no matter where they come from, get into this country illegally. They are working jobs illegally. This is what you got to understand. They are working jobs illegally. So you say, how do they get Medicaid? How do they get medical benefits? Well, how the hell do they get a job if they're illegal migrants? Shouldn't the companies not hire them? They get hired. They get papers. They get all types of documents. Next, you know, this goes on, that goes on. There's ways around to hustle the system. Next thing you know, they get benefits. Come on now. Wake up, Sony. Shout out to Felicia Harris. She says in Texas, they do get benefits. Come on now. They get benefits. Like personally, not even through others. They personally get benefits. This is why Trump has did what he did to cut a lot of stuff. And then you hear a lot of Democrats talking about, oh, well, millions of people or whatever, they're going to lose this, they're going to lose that. A lot of people, let me tell y'all something, man. It's so much crime and corruption on both sides. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous because these people are actually working jobs illegally. Listen, do y'all understand that there's so many people? Yeah, listen, I don't think y'all understand what's going on. Y'all like, prove it, prove it. Okay, prove that they're not. For everybody saying prove it, prove that they're not. How can you prove that they're not getting these benefits? Can you all provide documents and proof and evidence that they're not? Listen, I'm telling you, listen to what people are saying. Shout out to E. Cole Cyper. Says there are asylum cities that provide those benefits to migrants. Hello? Hello? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It may not be the case where you are. It may not be the case in a particular city near you. But this does happen in America, and we pay for it as a whole. We pay for it as a whole. They get all types of benefits. And guess what? That's a lack of resource. That's one less bit of resources that could go to people that actually are citizens. See, this Sticks and Stones says if they're not getting benefits, there's no documentation. I'm telling you, like, it's crazy, man. Listen, y'all can believe what y'all want. Y'all can believe I'm lying. I think y'all need to do your research. Listen, you got state-funded programs that use their own funds in that state to provide health coverage to undocumented immigrants, particularly children and pregnant women. And the point is, when that money goes out, a part of the system, guess who's paying for it? The citizens of that state. It's state-funded programs. Where do you think the money comes from? Man, listen, man, y'all need to do y'all research. I don't think y'all understand what's going on and why certain things are the way that they are. Let me see if I can show y'all something. Watch this. Let me put this. I need to put this on the screen because y'all gonna learn something today. Y'all gonna learn something today. Take a look at this because people are debating on things they have no knowledge on. Check this out. Currently, at least 14 states and the District of Columbia offer state-funded health insurance to some individuals regardless of immigration status. That means that the state is giving them health insurance. And we just talk about health insurance. I didn't go into how they can have housing and how they can get a whole bunch of other things. They're not paying taxes. They're not doing this, blah, 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 blah. And then they not actually actual citizen, so they just getting around doing whatever. California does it. Colorado does it. Connecticut does it. Illinois does it. Maine does it. Massachusetts does it. Minnesota does it. New Jersey does it. New York does it. Oregon does it. Rhode Island does it. Utah does it. Vermont does it. And Washington does it. Now, check this out. State-funded health coverages or state-funded health coverage specifics for undocumented. We're talking about people that don't have papers. They're illegal. Undocumented individuals vary by state, obviously. For example, California provides health insurance for adults regardless of immigration status. So if you're illegal and you're in California, because California has sanctuary cities, they're giving you health insurance. It says while New York offers coverage for seniors. Some states limit coverage by age, like New Jersey for children under 19 and Connecticut for children under 16. It just depends. Now, we're just talking about them without papers. Then you got some of these folks who are working. Then you got some of these people who are working when they're not supposed to work. Why? Because the company illegally hired them. So then they got these illegal papers and then they're getting all types of illegal documents to get this and get that. Yeah, shout out to Marty Calmer. He says, you're not lying. You're telling the truth. They just can't accept it. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, y'all. But this is why we got to deal with the migrant situation. It's costing all of us at the end of the day. Listen, I understand you pissed off at me because I'm telling you the truth. You hate me like the Bible says because I tell you the truth. I get it, but it is what it is. I'm not the one doing it. I'm a natural born citizen, born and raised, right? This ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm a natural born citizen all day, every day. Straight up, right? This is what they are doing, and it's being overran. The moment you get the word out, hey, you know, you can come to America and you can go to these particular states and you can do this. If you got young kids, you can go here. If your kids are older, you go there. If you're adults, go to this state. Once you get in the United States, then you go travel to this area. Boom, set up shop. You know, these companies will hire you. So then you get companies that hire them. So then they know coming to the United States, you can get medical insurance, you'll get hired illegally by these companies. The list goes on. Then next thing you know, you start getting set up with start doing other things. And this is why when ICE came through and started cracking down, we saw so many of them leaving, so many places, quote unquote, losing workers and all the talks of that because they were all over it. So then if you get papers at the job, this is crazy. You're getting papers at the job, and then you're getting papers. I'm telling you, man, it's. I don't even really want to get into it because that turns into an entire conversation. But this is real, and something has to be done about it. And obviously, Biden wasn't doing nothing about it. Kamala wasn't trying to do nothing about it. They weren't trying to get nobody out. They was just trying to let everything stay, let it be, you know, whatever. Let's just deal with this, deal with that, and we will still be having this problem going on. I like Malachi X says, so then if undocumented can get it, why is it so hard for a citizen to get it? Listen, man, you tell me, why is it so hard for people that are not wicked and they're not evil and they're doing right? Why do the good die young, as they say? Why does it seem like good people leave this planet sooner than they're supposed to? Right? This is a whole conversation in itself. This is a part of whatever's going on with the system. And the system is flawed. Remember, there was talks about when Biden was in office, when he was the president, and they were saying that when it came to voting, you had a lot of illegal immigrants that their names was actually registered as citizens to quote unquote vote to try to sway the election. You know, why was that even a conversation? Why should that even have been a talk? You know, whether you believe it's right or believe it's wrong. This is how the world is, man. The world is inherently evil. It's inherently crooked. And there's agendas and stuff going on. And so Trump is actually trying to stop that and change that. And he's also trying to provide a process for them to become legal. But listen, you can lead somebody to the water, but you can't make them drink, right? So if somebody has a process of where they want to go, then, I mean, come on. Listen, for all the people talking about give me proof of medical coverage, I just show you on the screen, there's 14 states, at least 14 states that offer state-funded health insurance. I mean, what is going on with people? And can y'all give me proof that these states are not doing it? Let me tell you something what's happening. Because the migrants are getting covered, and when I say migrants, I'm talking about illegal migrants, not legal migrants or those that are following through the process. Many of you, some of you here, you are actually legit citizens. You can't even get insurance, right? Somebody like me that got top-notch insurance coverage, I got it, my wife got it, top-notch insurance coverage. Guess what? Our premiums got to be higher because we're paying for quote unquote other scams and state-funded insurance or whatever is going on. We pay for people that's not paying into the system. So that come out of our pocket. Just like car insurance. When it comes to car insurance, for those of you that got vehicles, our premiums are based off of other people getting into a wreck. Even if you drive and you don't get into an accident, guess what? They can raise your rates just because other people are wrecking. Or just because you driving a vehicle that other people have wrecked. It's unfair, right? But these are issues in the system, and these are things that we need to get involved with if it's really bothering you. I'm just telling you how it is. Listen, I'm not the one who make the rules. I'm only reporting on the news. I'm only reporting on the news, right? That's all I could do, report on it. That's all I could do is report on it. So, okay, there we go. I don't know. I saw some issue in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Look like, okay, I don't know. I saw some issue on my screen saying something was up with the chat. Listen, y'all, these are why we need to do what we need to do. And what I'm trying to do and let y'all see is that everybody's just looking at what Trump's doing is just so bad. Oh, it's so bad. It's the end of the world. Listen, y'all, we got to stop fear mongering. We got to stop doom and glooming. We got to stop just looking at everything as bad. This actually is a situation that's going to help us out. Come on now. I want to know how I'm reporting fake news. I really want to know how I'm reporting fake news. Tell me how I'm reporting fake news on 14 states that you can see right here on the screen that offer health insurance. How's that fake news? And I just showed the actual so-called quote-unquote flooding that they're claiming is going on. And I showed Trump actually dropping the F-bomb. And I showed Trump cursing out Biden. I'm trying to figure this out. How I don't understand. You talking about I'm doing the fear now? Listen to the trolls, y'all. Talking about I'm doing the fear now. How the hell am I dooming and glooming? I'm telling you what's going on. Right? How is that doom and gloom when you inform somebody what's going on? So let me get this straight. Let me show you how stupid that argument is, right? So when somebody calls you on the phone, be like, hey, what's up, Ernie? What's going on? And that person tells you what's going on, they're doom and glooming. When you get a text message, when you get a notification from YouTube or a social media platform, or when you turn on the TV and you see that your favorite TV show is on, they're notifying you about what's going on. So that's considered doom and gloom, right? Okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Yeah, I get it. Listen, y'all, this is a real situation and a lot's being done about it and a lot's being handled. Let's back this up one more time and let's take a listen to this.
Facility. So if any of the news claims are keeping them out in hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here,
To be honest.
or 72.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here.
What's your expectation what this will do for the speed and force of deportations?
A lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home.
Y'all hear that? He said the people that come to Alligator Alcatraz want to go home. And they send them home. And we heard the maximum time frame is 2 weeks. That's the max, not even a month. 2 weeks. And they also get to sit in front of a judge. And hey, if it works out, then they can move forward with that and go back to wherever whatever state they came from, or however this process works with them picking them up. Otherwise, if it ain't gonna work out that way, then hey, they go back to their country. Listen, y'all, it is what it is. I kind of shared this with y'all. I broke the news. I'm letting y'all know what's going on. Listen, a lot of this stuff is not going to be something that everyone's going to agree with. No one's going to agree with everything 100%, right? What we're going to end up having to do is stand up and do something. If you have a problem with it, then you're going to have to get involved politically at best. You're going to have to voice what you want and what you don't want in your particular city and your particular state. If you don't listen, y'all, a lot of people only come out for the presidential election. For example, right? I'm giving y'all examples. People show up for the presidential election. They only come out once every 4 years. Those of you that vote or what have you, you'll come out for that. And then after that, all the little elections, nobody get involved. And then what's happening is all those other little elections is setting up for the big one. It's setting up for rules and laws and things that take place in your community. And then you like, well, why are they doing this or why are they not doing that? Because nobody gets involved. Nobody cares. Everybody just sit back and let them do what they do. And then when they doing what they doing, then we want to complain about it. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Marty's right. He's like, my patio floods when it rains. Yeah, these people, it's crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Listen, yeah, what's up, Humberto Sueves says, appreciate all your info. Just like you said earlier, you can take everybody to the water. We can't force them to drink. You can't make people drink, man. You can't make people drink. Like I said, you might not like what he's saying, You might not agree with what he's saying. That's not what this live stream is about, whether you like or agree. I'm just literally showing you he said this. Just like he cursed out Biden. You know, we saw him curse on when he was heading to NATO with the chopper about as it relates to Iran and Israel. He cursed. He's talking about both of them don't know what they're doing. It's crazy. Yeah, Alan, like everybody's yard floods. Listen, y'all, it's Florida. Florida is used to flooding. They're used to rain. They're trying to make it seem like this is something crazy. They're like so desperate for news. I mean, they can't even, I'm telling you, man, it's just silly at this point. It's really silly. They're so desperate that they got to resort to that to try to make it look like it's bad with what's going on. They're trying so hard, like Governor DeSantis said earlier in this video. He said it's like 62 degrees in here, but they think, oh, it's Florida and it's hot. They're probably burning up. Listen.
They'll be ready to receive.
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims they're keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here to be up.
Y'all hear that? They said it's air-conditioned facilities. Now, listen. If some information come out to prove that that's wrong, then you can hold Governor DeSantis, you can hold all of them, Trump, all of them. We're gonna do videos on it. But as it currently stands, they're trying to say it's hot down there, and the migrants are in a sweatshop, and it's flooding, and they're gonna get eaten up by alligators, and they're probably getting chained up, and it's a concentration camp, and they're getting beaten. All people be making up a bunch of lies, man. You got a lot of people that just doom and gloom and fear monger. We don't do that around here. It's faith over fear. It's faith over fear. It's faith over fear. And it's just so many people lie. The news media be lying. Content creators be lying. You got the YouTube content creators who make videos and live streams with large platforms. Then they push the lie rhetorics. So people's like, oh, well, did you hear this? Did you hear that? Then their viewers hear. Then they spread it. Then they showing videos. Then they having conversation. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, Robin is right. She said these people, they lie all the time. Maybe people lying all the time. Like I said, with me, it's just crazy. Look at how people lie. Speaking of lies, look at the lies right here. Look at the lies that Johnny Navarro said. Talking about it didn't just rain. It was a hurricane and it knocked everything down. When was a hurricane? There was no hurricane in Florida. Don't you know, first of all, there's a big difference between a tropical depression. Look, man, oh my gosh. It's like, are we dealing with adults here or are we dealing with children? Is there a tropical depression that's a potential tropical depression is not a hurricane? And as a matter of fact, it's not even formed yet. When it was raining, it's a potential. Let me put this on the screen, man. It's like, you cannot make this stuff up, man. You really cannot make this stuff up that people say it's a hurricane. They actually believe it was. Look at. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me make sure it's up there. Listen, it says National Hurricane Center monitoring potential tropical disturbance that could impact Florida. It didn't say that it did impact Florida. It said it could impact Florida. But yet you got somebody trolling in the chat that said that it didn't just rain. It was a hurricane and knocked everything down. Can you provide the proof on who said that and where did that come from? And then came and said that I said that it's good that it floods with alligators. I never said that it was good. And it didn't even flood that point. And listen, alligators are all over Florida. First of all, that's life of being in Florida. Listen, alligators in Florida when it's dry weather. Come on, man. Like somebody just, you can't make this stuff up and then try to say that I sound like the president. Lies. It's like, listen, the people that are talking do not live in Florida, do not visit Florida, do not freak in Florida, and have no idea and understanding on the geographical climate in Florida. Like I said, it could be straight sunny and you got alligators in Florida. What does rain got to do with it? What does floods got to do with it? Come on, man. Somebody make this make sense to me, man. It's just crazy. I know people be trolling, but I'm just saying, it's crazy. I mean, people act like the weather can't be bad anyway. Listen, we done had storms all across the entire country. And now somebody want to try to lie and be like, oh, it's a hurricane. Potential. That hasn't even happened yet. And might not happen.
Georgia Crone.
Look, let's get past the ad. Let's look at it. Because you know you got to do this. Look. Why is it volume so low? Look, let me see if I can turn the music off. For some reason, the volume on this video is so low.
With your 8 p.m. update on July 2nd from the National Hurricane Center, little bit of a change in just the area that we're focusing, but the forecast mainly is staying the same. Expect tropical downpours across Florida over the next couple of days, which is unfortunately going to put a little bit of a damper on any 4th of July holiday plans. And as we continue to keep an eye on events, Friday,
there's nothing here that says anything about no hurricane.
but keeping my hopes up on this one.
It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. There's nothing here that says anything about a hurricane. Listen, man, it's so many trolls coming in here. I tell you, it's just ridiculous. Look, we heard Trump curse out Biden. Let's go ahead and go. Because
hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here.
What's your expectation what this will do for the speed and force of deportations?
A lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, you know, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in a maximum security.
it's crazy, man. I tell you, this is absolutely crazy. It's just some of the stuff that I see. Some of the comments here, man, in the chat is wild. Some of the comments in the chat. What's up, Marty? Marty says a little like Stevie J. That's what's up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Robin says they're sending people to a death camp without criminal backgrounds based on the clothes they're wearing with no due process. I beg to differ. I want to see the dead bodies. We want to find out about that. I really want to see the dead bodies, if that's the case. Like, where are the dead bodies? Right? And we just heard about, listen. Hold on one second. I'm going to put them back on the screen. Now watch this. This is what I want y'all to hear. Let's get this back on the screen. Because it's like, oh, they're sending them they're sending them to their death and all this stuff. That's doom and glooming. That's not true. Listen.
With the state has been great.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons tells us the goal is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks, where they can appear before a judge and be deported from the camp's existing runway. Can appear before a judge, can appear before a judge, can appear before a judge, can appear before a judge.
How the hell are they going to appear before a judge if they're dead? And what are they doing with the bodies? Like, seriously, what's going on? Why is it, where is the evidence of them just dead bodies? Right? We got to know that there's some type of evidence before we can actually make that claim. It's one thing to wonder if that's what's going on. and be like, I wonder if that's going on. But we cannot say that that's actually what's going on until we actually have proof. There is no proof that this is a consecration camp. Everybody's saying this is a concentration camp. And one thing I want to show y'all forgot about, speaking of concentration camp, nobody wanted to say this when this was happening under Biden's watch. Remember when Biden was president? Watch this. Let me get this on the screen. Watch this,
Good
y'all.
morning to you. We were out late into the night talking to migrants who just crossed the border. We met little kids, 9 and 10 years old, traveling by themselves. And because there are so many kids just like them crossing the border right now, they will likely end up in a facility like...
Listen, Robin, you cannot say that this is such a lie, Listen, you might not like it, Robin. Nobody's saying that you have to agree with that. Right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that anybody here got to agree with DeSantis, with Trump, with Alligator Alcatraz. I've never said that one time. As a matter of fact, I've advocated saying that there's quite a few people here that disagree with it. So you can be upset with it. You can even be upset with me. However, you cannot say that it's a lie. You have no proof. You have no evidence. You have no facts. There is nothing that you have provided. There's no website that you can show me. There's no video that you can show me. Some audio that I would play right now for my audience. Listen, y'all, if y'all want to stand on business with something, tell me, put something in the chat. Let me know, super chat me. I will show it on my show at any time. I will stand corrected. But as it currently stands, unless you got some type of proof showing that there's dead bodies at Alligator Alcatraz, that they're not being going through due process, that they're not coming in, leaving, going back home or whatever, we cannot say that that's actually for sure. We may not like it. We may not agree with it. We may have a problem with it, but you can't say for sure that that's a lie. Now look at what was going on with Biden. Watch the top of the screen.
This one behind me, severely overcrowded jail-like places not meant for kids. Inside this tent facility on the southern border, so many children, they are sleeping on floors, side by side, huddled under foil blankets. The Biden administration refusing to allow journalists in to see for themselves, sources providing this first look. This video shot by Customs and Border Protection last week, obtained exclusively by ABC News.
Now, you see, they said they didn't even allow journalists in to even see what's going on under the Biden administration. But y'all believe that everything that Biden was doing was legit.
So many children, they are sleeping on floors.
Look at that. Look at what the children are sleeping on floors. See, listen, all of this took place under the Biden administration, and none of y'all had a problem with it. I mean, those of you that rock with Biden and rock with what was going on under the Democratic leadership. Nobody had a problem with it. Y'all didn't care about what was going on with the migrants. Everybody was fine. Because ain't nobody in the chat saying that, well, I rock with Biden and I rock with the Democrats and, you know, I had a problem with what Biden was doing. I don't see anybody putting those comments in the chat. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. But look at what's going on under Biden's watch when he was president.
Side by side, huddled under foil blankets.
Look at that. Do you think that that's appropriate for children? While we talking about what Trump is moving them in and moving them out. You might not agree, but he getting them in and out. This is what's going on under Biden's watch when he was president.
The Biden administration refusing to allow journalists in to see for themselves.
See that? As a journalist, you couldn't even come in to see for yourself.
Sources providing this first look. This video shot by Customs and Border Protection last week, obtained exclusively by ABC News. Only 250 people are supposed to be held here. Instead, there are close to 4,000. Some ABC News. Only 250 people are supposed to be held here. Instead, there are close to 4,000.
Only 250 people were supposed to be there, and it is close to 4,000. You want to talk about conditions? You want to talk about things that are being safe and unsafe? How come none of the Biden supporters that are in my chat right now, none of the Democratic supporters, none of the Kamala supporters are saying that, hey, I'm not happy about what Biden was doing either? Listen, Robin, you have no news source to say otherwise. It's literally ABC News. Do you not see it? Man, you cannot make this stuff up, man. You really cannot make this stuff up. To ask me what news source this is, and you see the banner on the screen and they said ABC News. And not only was it ABC News, there are other news stations that have already shown this. Like, how many videos do I have to sit there and show? And you know what's funny, y'all? I could show 1,000 different videos from 1,000 different sources, and you're still gonna have people in the chat. They're just not gonna be able to believe it because they just not gonna be able to believe it anyway, right? But the point is, none of them have any concrete proof from any news source or any link or any testimony or any speech or report or anything to say that people are getting killed at Alligator Alcatraz and they're not getting due process. And I'm constantly showing nothing but due process. It's crazy. Watch.
Some families, mostly unaccompanied minors.
How can you say you can't see it? Look at the dang screen. There is literally a banner on the effing screen in the middle that says ABC News. Do you not see where it says news exclusive and it says ABC right there? The little circle, the little black circle in front of news. And they said ABC News exclusive. Listen, look, oh my gosh, man. Is this actually real? Is this actually real? Listen, Morning Eagle says this was from an influx of immigrants being picked up at the border, not mass arrests. Listen, being picked up at the border and being arrested is the same thing. Whether they picked up at the border or they picked up somewhere else. Listen, how else they gonna be picked up? Like, y'all not making any logical sense, man. Once you enter into America, into the United States, if you make it past the border, then you're going to be arrested. Oh my gosh, man. Like, do we need to go back to elementary school? Like, do people understand how this process works here in this state and in the United States here in this country? The bottom line is, whether they were picked up at the border or picked up somewhere in the country, under Biden's watch, you had an influx. Why was there an influx? Because Biden allowed all of these migrants to come into America. That's how we got into this situation in the first place. Man, listen, y'all gonna have to go back and do the search. I'm not doing all that work. Y'all asking too much. What's the date? What's the time? What's going on? It was under the Biden administration. And this is not the only video, by the way. There's other information and other reports. I'm not getting into all of that because I'm just going to sit up here and be showing 1,000 videos and y'all still going to be disagreeing with me, arguing with me. It's a waste of my time and it's a waste of my audience time. It'd be different. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, right? It'd be different if y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Listen, I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not. I'm not saying that anybody here should agree with it or not. All I'm showing y'all is what took place. And it's like people just have a problem accepting what took place in America. And when this took place under Biden, nobody had a problem with it. I mean, look at these conditions. It's overrun. It's not safe. And they were being separated also from their families. So while he's like, oh, Trump is just doing this, he's snatching people up and doing all that. What was happening under Biden? Ain't nobody had nothing to say.
Traveling alone, from teenage
Did y'all hear
boys
that?
to infants. Families, mostly unaccompanied minors, traveling alone. From teenage boys to families, mostly unaccompanied minors, traveling alone.
You hear that? Traveling alone. Unaccompanied minors. Unaccompanied minors. You got children under the Biden administration that was traveling alone. Where the hell was their parents that they was traveling alone? You see what I'm saying? See, there's so much more and so much levels to this. Where were their parents that the kids was just traveling alone? What were the dynamics? What was going on? Did they just say, hey, it's so bad, I'm just going to leave my parents? You can't blame the United States for that. They're coming here bringing those problems to us. That's not our problem. That's not our issue. That's their issue. And then they want to break the law coming here. There's legal ways of entering the country. Man, this is crazy, man.
From teenage boys to infants. Here, toddlers in a playpen being watched by a caretaker. The kids made the treacherous journey all the way from Central America, hoping to claim asylum.
Listen, C.D. Lewis, do you have any type of common sense? You don't put all the information up there either. If you're going to try to get a point across, then try to get to the right one across and tell the full story. You're lying just like Trump does. I'm literally showing you the full story. And listen, I've been showing people the full story for this whole hour and a half. It's not my fault if you show up late to class and you missed the lesson. It's not my fault. That's your fault if you showed up late to class and you missed all the proof and all the evidence and all the videos. Also, what I also like to say is you're not showing me any video links in the live chat. You're not telling me go to this site. You're not saying go here, pull this up. So you have no leg to stand on. You're just giving me opinions. Listen, y'all, I'm not speaking on opinions. I'm speaking on facts. And y'all don't like the fact of what's been taking place in America. This happened under Biden's watch. This was on the news for a long time. Oh, have y'all forgotten? It's funny how people forget stuff. They forgot how this was broadcasted on the news. This was a big story. Oh, have y'all forgot? People seem to forget how stuff happens. Come on now. Like I said, if y'all got some type of video or whatever, I've been saying it's like a broken record. I have no problem showing it right now. But y'all don't. Y'all don't. And that's why I continue to do what I'm doing. And I haven't even got deep into the stuff that Biden was doing under his administration. See, if I really go deep, if y'all really want me to go there, I'm going to make y'all feel stupid. So anyway, I'm going to play this a little bit more.
Inside, they get medical checks. They line up one by one for food. This video showing girls at a center in El Paso exercising outside. But this is no place for children.
You heard that? No place for children. This is under the Biden administration.
Crammed into pods, one pod housing more than 400 boys. The White House says they're working as quickly as possible to move these kids into shelters and homes, calling in FEMA for help. But under fire from critics who say they didn't do enough to plan for the surge after overturning many of Trump's hardline immigration policies, the administration still refuses to call the situation a crisis.
Do you hear that? Now, under Biden's administration, because the Biden administration wanted to overturn everything that Trump put in when Trump got in the first time. Because Biden overturned all of that, you had an influx of immigrants coming in. That's Biden's fault. That's Biden administration's fault. That's Kamala's fault. That got nothing to do with Trump. He created this problem to where the migrants wanted to flood into the country. Biden passed these rules. The same Democratic leader that many of y'all voted for, y'all supported, y'all said it was okay. You didn't have a problem with it. Now, because Trump is dealing with it, because it wasn't an issue like that when he was in the first time, he was trying to deal. Y'all remember when Trump was trying to put the wall up and he was trying to put all these things in place and keep this issue from becoming a big problem and spiraling out of control. Then Biden came and said, hey, forget the wall, forget all of this. We're going to cut this. Man, if I start showing y'all all the information, your head will spin. Next thing you know, we had the influx of migrants coming in. This is what led to the problem. And not only did they come in there, they've been coming in. And now Trump just got in this year, officially starting in 2025 this year, and he's already cleaning up the situation. Come on now. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. Listen, these are literally the facts, whether you like it or not. That's what took place. This issue was compounded because of Biden. And would continuously be compounded under Kamala because she was going to do the same thing that Biden was doing. She's literally just going to pick up where Biden left off, and we would still have this situation out of control. Have y'all forgot about how a lot of these illegal migrants was in here shooting cops, riding on squad cars, busting cap? Listen, if they gonna bust a cap and ride on a cop, on police, on squad cars, treat them like nothing, what the hell you think they're gonna do to people like you and me? So y'all forget that. And then there was living in people's homes. Listen, it was out of control. Now people upset because Trump is trying to put some type of control and order in this. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Listen, again, whether you like it or not, I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but y'all gotta stop dooming and glooming. A lot of people be on that doom and gloom train. And here we are, we actually see that in this particular video that we looking at, that they're gonna be given due process. Listen.
Concern for many.
The partnership with the state has been great.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons tells us the goal is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks, where they can appear before a judge and be deported from the camp's existing runway.
You hear that? They're going to appear before a judge and then be deported within 2 weeks. Or if they come in front of a judge and everything's legit, then they'll go through the process of citizenship. Man, I tell you, man, this is crazy. Listen, yeah, Betty Hall, she says, yes, out of control. This was out of control, but people didn't care when Biden was there. Everybody was, oh. I'm not saying, obviously people that support Trump, people that understand what I'm saying, y'all get it. But I'm talking about Biden supporters, Kamala supporters, the Democratic supporters. They had no problem with the migrant situation, no problem with the crime that was happening, no problem with the homes that was inhabited, no problem with them riding on police, attacking police, doing stuff crazy, just breaking laws. Y'all, it was bad. Y'all remember we had that influx of crime? Man, you know what? I tell you, man, y'all, this is wild, man. Like somebody said earlier, they said, Brain, I don't see how you do it. It's like, I don't see how you do it, man. I got patience. I got a lot of patience. Somebody said, I don't see how you do it. Where's the comment? Here we go. Shout out to Justin. He was like, Brain, I don't know how you do it, cuz, hey, I mean, it is what it is, man. Listen, my job is to get people to understand things the proper way. Okay? My job is to get things the proper way. All right? Listen, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. I tell you, it's like talking. It's sometimes like talking to the wall. It's like talking to the wall. Listen, sticks and stones. Look, see, this is what I'm talking about. My man, you're making a lot of assumptions. Clearly didn't listen to most of those on the left. How am I making assumptions when there's people in my live chat literally posting comments out of their mouths? When I'm responding to a comment that somebody says, it's not an assumption. Listen, man, I don't like, are y'all still in elementary school, or am I talking to a set of adults? There is no assumption when people are in the live chat that support the left, that say that they're a part of that party, political party, have no problem with that political party, bashing Trump. Obviously, if you bash Trump, you're pro-Biden, you're pro-Democrat, you're I mean, it just, obviously, that's what it is. Because it's not like you're coming out in the chat saying, well, I support Trump, but Biden did this and I was cool with that. Y'all not saying this in the comment section. Nobody's coming out saying that. There's not one comment on that. Come on now. I ain't assuming nothing when it's coming out of people's mouths, or should I say they're typing it on the screen. It's no assumptions. I'm showing you video footages. I've showed people the 14 states here in America that actually support illegal immigrants getting medical insurance, all this stuff. That's not an assumption. Y'all just don't like the truth. It's just as simple as that. I understand if you don't like it. I understand if you don't like me. And also, let me make this point. I cannot actively comment on every single person's comment in the live chat. There are times when I have 2,000 and 3,000 people in the chat. Now, I got a smaller group tonight, and it's fine and dandy, so I'm able to respond to a few more comments. But I can't respond to everybody's comment every single time, every response. That's just not possible. No content creator can do that. So y'all got to understand it. We just cannot do that. If I spent every moment responding to every single comment, I will not have a show. It'll be nothing but me responding to comments. You'll see no videos, no pictures. There'll be no dialogue, none of that, right? So I have to run a show. I have to conduct a show, and I'm unable to respond to everybody's comment or their reply or whatever, unless we're specifically talking about something and it's a conversation that's going on as it relates to the show. Now, if you want your comment for sure to be seen, that's what the super chat is for. Now, if you hit the super chat, that is a way that it stays on the screen for us content creators. I'll see it. My moderators will also see it. And I'll make sure that your comments and questions get read or seen. So if you want to be sure, and this don't just go for me as Brainwaves, this goes for any content creator. If you want to have a chance of your comment being seen and heard, you have to hit the super chat. The little $ symbol that's in the bottom of the screen where you can type your name where it says chat. You look to the right, you see the smiley face with the emojis, and then you see the $. Hit that $. That guarantees that your comment or whatever your question is going to be heard, talked about, and or answered. So I'm just saying, man, it's impossible. Listen, it's no loss of love to any of y'all. Trust. No loss of love, but I cannot. It's just impossible. I just got to let y'all know, right? Now, there's some points that some of y'all made, and it may turn into a show. Let me make that clear. Some of y'all making some good points. It may turn into a future show. So just keep that in mind. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. Listen, I want to see. Susan has a point. She says Obama and Biden deported. I think you meant more immigrants. It looks like a typo. I think you meant more immigrants than Trump. I'm sorry, but you don't know the truth. You're just repeating someone else's lies. First of all, Trump just got into office, okay? During his first term after Obama, he was trying to keep immigrants from coming into the country. His focus wasn't hardcore on deporting. During this particular term, he's focused on deporting. Trump just got in months ago. How are you going to compare what he's doing in terms of his numbers when he just got in months ago? Obama's terms are done. Biden's terms is done. Like, that's an unfair comparison. Trump still got a running clock. He just became president for his second term a couple of months ago. 6 months ago, whatever you want to call it. Months ago, it ain't even been a full year. You see what I'm saying? You cannot say that Obama and then you're combining two other presidents. That's not fair. Because if you're combining two presidents, let's combine another Republican president with Trump. Trump could pick a Republican president. This is an unfair conversation. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I be trying to get y'all to see. People be setting stuff up to be unfair from the get. It's like a no-win situation, Captain Kirk. Y'all remember Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan? The OG Star Trek? Right? With Captain James Tiberius Kirk. That's right. I'm a Trekkie. I'm a nerd. Y'all remember The Wrath of Khan and Captain Kirk, he was talking about, yes, man, he was talking to Spock about a no-win situation. It's like, if you go this way, it's a no-win. If you go that way, it's a no-win. That's how a lot of these comments are set up. It's like you cannot win the conversation regardless of how it is because it's already unfair. It's already unfair. Appreciate the support, Malachi. I seen your comment. Appreciate the support. Now listen, as it relates to, see, this is what I'm saying. See, I want y'all to see this on the screen. James 516 says Obama was for deportation. Keep it real, dude. When did I say that Obama did not deport anybody? When did I say that Biden did not deport anybody? I never said that. Y'all see how people be making up lies? I never said Obama did not deport anybody. Nor did I say that Biden did not deport anybody. What I said is regarding Susan's comment that she left, it was an unfair scenario where you're combining two presidents combined against Trump. That's unfair. Trump would need another Republican president to even combine with his numbers. And then two, he's still in office and just got in office 6 months ago. He's not done with the deportation process. So we got to see what his numbers are going to be before somebody can come in here and say that, well, Obama and Biden, they deported more than Trump. Come on now. Y'all can't do this, man. Shout out to Jonah TV for life for the 99-cent super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Sticks and Stones said that Trump is doing what Biden wasn't doing. That is true. But where did I say that Biden wasn't deporting? Come on now. Where did I say that? What Biden was doing was allowing them to come in and then try. Listen, it was like ring around. It was just ring around the rosy. It was like a revolving door. They were, quote unquote, trying to deport some out while allowing so many of them in at the same time. Because Biden changed his policies. Do you not realize the policies that Biden had to allow them to come in? There was more of an influx than they were deporting. So it was almost as if it was a waste of time to deport them. Listen, when you got more coming in than going out, the numbers are going to increase. That's what was happening. I never said he wasn't deporting anybody. He changed Trump's law. Listen, it's right up here in the video clip that I just played. Man, I'll tell you, man, you can't make this stuff up, man. People are gonna believe what they're gonna believe. Hey, listen, man, I said what I needed to say. I see where this is going. It is what it is. Listen, man, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm about to get out of here. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this and these trolls. I'll stay tuned for another live stream. I want to show y'all something real quick before I go. Let's see if I can get this pulled up. If I can get this pulled up in time. I don't know if I could get this pulled up in time, but hey, I'll just save it for another stream. I don't have time for this. Shout out to Waco for the $4.99 super chat. She says, love the way you back it down. Much love, Brainwaves. Appreciate that. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. What's up, Elsa? Thanks for joining us. Like I said, listen, y'all just gonna have to ignore the trolls, man. Ignore the trolls. Ignore the trolls. They got some real I'll let you figure out stuff to say. So hey, I'll get with y'all in the next one. The story's been covered, the topic's been covered, and we even went into some other conversations. Great conversation, great topic as always. Make sure y'all double tap the screen on your way out. I appreciate y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one.